He left without a word, and somehow that silence said everything. I replay that morning in my head, searching for signs I must have missed. The coffee was still warm, the door still open, like he had just stepped out. But moments turned into hours, and hours quietly stretched into days. I checked my phone more times than I can count, hoping for something. A message, a call, anything to tell me he hadn't really gone. Maybe he thought leaving quietly would hurt less than saying goodbye. Maybe he didn't know how to say the words without breaking apart. Or maybe there were words he simply couldn't find inside himself. I remember the way he used to laugh, so full and alive. Like nothing in the world could ever touch or hurt him. But something did, something quiet and invisible that I never saw. I wonder if he looked back before he walked out that door. If he paused, even for a second, unsure of what he was doing. I wonder if I crossed his mind at all in that moment. Or if leaving felt easier than staying and trying to explain. The silence he left behind grew louder with every passing day. It filled every room, every corner, every breath I tried to take. I tried to hold on to the good parts we once shared. Late nights, small jokes, the way we understood each other without speaking. But even those memories slowly turned into questions without answers. Why didn't he say goodbye when it mattered the most? Was I not worth a final word, a final moment of honesty? Or was the goodbye simply too heavy for him to carry? I realized that sometimes people leave without wanting to leave. Sometimes they go because staying feels even harder than disappearing. And sometimes silence is the only language they know in pain. I stopped waiting for a message that would never arrive. I stopped searching for meaning in the quiet he left behind. Because some goodbyes are never spoken out loud. Some endings come without closure, without warning, without explanation. And sometimes, that silence becomes the final answer we never wanted. I learned to sit with the quiet instead of fighting it. To let it pass through me instead of tearing me apart. The memory softened, no longer sharp enough to hurt the same way. And the questions slowly lost their power over my thoughts. I stopped asking why, and started accepting what is. Because not every story gets the ending we hope for. Not every person stays long enough to say goodbye. And not every silence is meant to be understood. Sometimes, it simply is what it is, nothing more, nothing less. I carried him in my memories, but no longer in my questions. And somehow, that made the silence a little easier to bear. The goodbye he never said no longer echoed as loudly. Because I finally understood that it was never mine to hear. And in that understanding, I found a quiet kind of peace.